Hey nerds, after posting our original video to see whether or not Asmongold was serious about trying Final Fantasy XIV, and he did say that he was, I was concerned, not really concerned, but I wanted to see if there was an update to that because 9.1 now has a release date and it's in the next couple of weeks. So I don't know if he'll actually get to playing 14 or get to playing it soon. However, he did do a reaction to Zepla's video of why you should play 14 now. I think it's cute that he keeps reacting to her videos. I actually really adore Zepla. So I would like to see how this plays out, and hopefully you guys enjoy it too. And again, because of the way we have to have this set up, anytime that we will try to give an opinion, we will mute the mic or unmute the mic and then talk and then have it muted otherwise. And it's not because you guys asked, it's because it works better for us. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. And if you like the content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, or even applaud if you think it's that good. And don't forget to check out the stream and all of the links we have there. Again, I'm an ArenaNet partner, so you can try Guild Wars 2 for free, and I'll probably mention Guild Wars 2 as well, even though it's not Final Fantasy 14. And again, we're doing this with Chalk because everybody liked it before and everyone said he was cute. So thanks, guys, and I'll see you at the next one.
Why now is the best time to start Final Fantasy? Oh god.
Hey Buns, so with Endwalker still half a year away, you might not be feeling a ton of pressure to jump into Final Fantasy 14 right now. You might even be thinking, oh well, I'll just wait till November 23rd rolls around and then I'll buy Endwalker and start playing. But first of all, you don't actually have to pay for anything to start playing Final Fantasy 14 because
Really?
Final Fantasy 14 has a free trial that goes up to level 60 and includes the first expansion, Heaven's Word. So
Guild Wars 2 has the full base game free.
Plug.
Just saying. Hey, she was plugging.
That's true.
This ad paid for by Squeedix.
you can milk.
Is this the fucking meme that I keep reading? Like, yeah, because I always fucking see this all the time, and I don't really know what it's about, or like what it, like, I don't even know what Heaven's Ward is. Is it like Burning Crusade? No idea.
Several hundred hours out of that.
So technically, yes, it's the first expansion in Final Fantasy XIV if there's any Asmongold viewers watching this video and not just fans of Final Fantasy XIV. And a lot of people say that the story, as well as the gameplay with your classes and certain mechanics, picks up during Heaven's Word. I felt like it did as well, but I don't think it was at its peak for me personally until Shadowbringers, funnily enough. So yeah, it's good that the trial is up to Heaven's Word, but a couple of things that I dislike about the trial are if you're trying the game out with a friend, you can't form a party on a trial account. So, sorry, Eddie is trying to get under the futon. So if you and your friend are both on trial accounts, you can't form a party together to get into a dungeon, let's say if it's part of the MSQ. And Chalk and I had actually figured that out when I wanted to go back and play through ARR. Not that it's a bad trial. It's very, very, very generous for a trial. But there could be some tweaks, and I know why some of them are there. And I do think that it's kind of funny is that if it picks up in Heaven's Word, it's like, we're going to give you the whole portion free that everyone says is slow for you to get to, and then you can pay for Heaven's Word where the real content comes in. So I do think that's
just on its own. There's not necessarily anything wrong with waiting till November 23rd to buy Endwalker, because if you pre-order it now and you don't have the expansions already, you won't be able to access Stormblood or Shadowbringers content until Endwalker releases.
Oh shit.
Because they're all bundled together.
That's
so if
cute.
you want to play the expansions now, you need to buy Shadowbringers now. That includes Stormblood. And then Endwalker when it comes out, or pre-order Endwalker.
So it's like BFA
like I said,
and like
the free trial
Shadowlands.
includes Heaven's Word, and you can get a lot of mileage out of that without paying anything at all.
That's
Financial
nice.
considerations aside, there are some real practical reasons why you would want to play Final Fantasy 14 all the way up through Shadowbringers before Endwalker comes out.
Why is that?
The first reason is because leveling to 80 and getting through all of the story on your first character can take easily 200 or 300 hours of playtime. Now that might sound overwhelming at first, but please understand that these are 200 hours that are meant to be enjoyed and relished, and that you get to do only once. It's really enjoyable. Like, I wish I could go back and do it all again for the first time, but I mean, to proper.
I just want to get to where I fight the guy with the big sword, dude. Now I said I will not.
I'm curious as to who he thinks the guy with the big sword is. Like, if you watch the Shadowbringers trailer, I like, does he think that he fights the Warrior of Light? Because that's really cute, if so. Although that big sword is really neat. And what I loved about the Shadowbringers trailer, to go off topic a little bit, is that the Warrior of Light goes through every single job trying to fight this Light Warden. But other than that, I actually do think it's kind of funny, because there are a lot of people that say the story is the best part of FF14 because it's a Final Fantasy game. The story is always the best part, even if you just have to read it. I love FF7. It's my absolute favorite. I've always loved the Final Fantasy franchise. But Asmongold has never played a Final Fantasy game, which is one of the reasons why he's never been drawn to Final Fantasy. And so for someone like that, who's never even played a Final Fantasy game, to hear 200 to 300 hours of story before you actually even get to Shadowbringers, that's a lot. Unless you actually do buy the skip. But if you buy the skips, you're skipping out on a lot of really good story, possibly, and you're also skipping out on learning how to play your class. And again, it's totally fine if that's how you play a game. I know that Preach just did it so that he could get into Savage content, but there are a lot of veterans who will feel like it takes away from the game. And it's kind of funny because with WoW, for leveling, there's such crazy speed leveling, even when you first start the game, that is incredible. But because there are so many people coming over to Final Fantasy XIV right now, and everybody's hyped about Endwalker, and there is the the pre-order for that as well, pretty much every single server for Final Fantasy XIV currently is a preferred server. And if you don't know what that is, it means that you get like 100% experience boost. So that, plus if you get, and I don't know if they've streamlined this into the MSQ. I was told that they did streamline the companion stuff into the MSQ for your Chocobo, which is great. But you could go to get all of your gear for learning how to play your class. And all of that is an experience boost as well if you do the whole thing to get the ring. And then I don't know if you get Shadowbringers now, if you still get the earring, or if it was only from the pre-order, but then there's the earring as well, and then food. So there is a lot of experience boost, but you could also out-level the MSQ, and there are a lot of people that don't like that. They want to be the correct level for each portion of the MSQ. So it's either really, really long or really, really long and you've out-leveled it, or, some people prefer MSQ gameplay, and I thought I did as well. So I'm excited to go back and start ARR from the beginning. I don't know how you felt about it.
I would rather have just enjoyed the story all the way through and have been overleveled. Because being underleveled when you get to that point and you can't continue the MSQ unless you start doing fetch quests.
And for anyone who doesn't know, I know that Zepla said that she wished she could go back and do it again for the first time. You can go back and do it again after doing all of it with New Game Plus if you unlock it and you just go through the story. It doesn't have experience for your character, which is kind of what I was upset about. I get why it doesn't, but it would be great to level up other jobs through the story over and over again. And obviously it's not a first time thing, but at least you can do this full story again for those of you who really liked it.
Boost. I will play through it, but like my goal is get to the guy with the big sword. That's what it's all about.
Really enjoy it, to play it the way it is designed to be played, which is as a Final Fantasy game, smelling the
never
roses
played one
along the way. Yeah, it's going to take
unironically never played a Final Fantasy
I remember well, I don't know if it's really comparable, but I started in Heaven's Ward and I was playing fairly casually, and it took me maybe 2 or 3 months to get to max level.
Okay.
And that's just on your first job. Now alt jobs, the second, the second, third, fourth jobs of any other jobs that you decide to level, those are not going to take as long.
Man, like this shit puts me off so much how they call it jobs. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like it really fucking does. Like, that's the one thing I didn't want. Like, call it class, call it role, call it not responsibility, but not job, man. That's like, you could call it any word except that. Like, job, fuck, it's so minor.
I don't want a job. What?
Sometimes leveling them feels like a job.
It's such a meme. It's funny because I know this isn't what he's getting at. It's just a joke and he's just trolling. But it was actually really hard for me coming from World of Warcraft to FF14. And it's not like people don't understand when you say class referring to a job, because for 14, again, if there's anyone who isn't a 14 vet, there's Disciple of Hand jobs, there's Disciple of Land jobs, Disciple of War, and Disciple of Magic. So you have your melee classes, or your physical classes, your magic classes, your gathering classes, and your production classes. So they essentially put all of the crafting and gathering in one as well, because you can level up every single crafter and gatherer, and you actually have a full set rotation for those too. And it was really hard for me to say that. And then aggro in WoW is called enmity in Final Fantasy XIV. And so I still say aggro. And then it's even funnier going, trying out Guild Wars 2, where classes aren't called classes or jobs. They're supposed to be called professions. But I get that confused with in World of Warcraft. The professions were your crafting and gathering. So you had classes and you had professions. You could have one class with different specs, 2 professions, and then you had your sub-professions, which was like cooking, fishing, and things like that. So I know that this is a meme because they call it a job. So it's like a responsibility. But it is kind of funny because I actually was really bad at remembering to call it a job instead of a class, even though people knew what I was referring to.
Bro, no, it's not minor. I've had my dad telling me I need to get a job for years, man. I'm like, fuck, I don't want a job. And now I've got to like reorient my brain that it's supposed to be like a neutral thing or a good thing. I spent a long time worrying about that.
You got through all the story. It might take, I don't know, 30, 40 hours. That's just like a random guess.
Yeah.
For alt jobs, there are a lot of systems in place to help speed up the alt job leveling process, and that's something to keep in mind too. You don't know how many other jobs you might level before you find the one that you decide to main, because the odds that you are going to actually stick with that first job that you played to max level, like that's going to be your main for Endwalker.
Yep, true.
I mean, it's kind of unlikely. It's kind of like deciding to marry the first girl you date. Like it could happen, and it's really lucky for you if that happens.
The thing is, though, is like if you marry the first girl you date, you don't gotta think about it anymore, right? Because now, like before, you have to think about, oh, now I gotta talk to a new girl, I gotta take her out on a date. Like now, you talk to her, all right, good, lock that one down, boom, let's move on. I'm gonna get back to playing video games, doing what I need to do, hang out with the boys, right? You just knock that part of your life out, you're done. Now you get more time to hang out with the boys, play video games.
But you might want to look around. You might want to try some of the other play styles that are available.
Whatever
having all
has the
jobs
two-handed
leveled
sword
is a really good idea in general, especially going into a new expansion.
So if he wants whatever has a two-handed sword, kind of a question for chat if you've watched this far. Chat. This isn't live. Comment. Hey. What? What do you guys think he would play? I mean, if it was two-handed, do you guys think that he would actually play a Dark Knight and level up to get to that point? Because you have to get to the point to unlock it. So I wonder if he would like that, or if, because he likes to play Warrior, especially Prout Warrior, which is sword and board, if he would like Paladin, or what role he would play. So let me know in the comments below if you've gotten this far what you think he would play.
I'm thinking he'd play Warrior up until Dark Knight.
Or Samurai. Samurai technically, well, that might be weeb shit.
Ever take Samurai.
But it's two-handed sword!
Given his options of Dark Knight or Samurai, he's gonna take Dark Knight.
Or technically, Warrior is different in 14, than it is in World of Warcraft, but he has mained Warrior for forever. But yeah, two-handed big fuck-off axe, like maybe. I don't know. Just curious. What do you guys think?
There's going to be a lot of new content that everybody wants to get into. If you can play more than one role, if you play a healer and a tank and a DPS, it's going to massively expand the number of groups you will be able to actually get into in Party Finder. And don't forget that if you get all of your battle jobs to 80, you actually earn an Amuro mount. So on top of making sure that you've given yourself enough time,
whoa, 1 sec.
You actually earn.
That's nice. How fast can it go? That's not the fastest it can go, right?
In Party Finder. And don't forget that if you get all of your battle jobs to 80,
like it can go faster than that, right? It can go faster than that? Okay, all right, cool. I was about to say, man, this is fucking useless. Who the fuck wants this shit?
I love how he's making a joke about it because he knows that everything is slowed down. And he's just being dumb, and his chat's like, lol, it goes faster. Like, everybody's taking it so seriously, and he said it as a complete joke.
Does this all the time, though.
I know,
He
and
plays off
his chat gets riled up so bad. Like, it's actually really funny.
It's fantastic.
A piece of shit is moving around like, what the fuck? There's a flying camel. Yeah.
You actually earn an Amuro mount. So on
Cool.
top of making sure that you've given yourself enough time before the expansion to leisurely get to level 80 and not feel rushed, even have time to check out other jobs, you might also want to get your relic weapon for Shadowbringers before Endwalker comes out.
Is that like an artifact weapon? Like a Legion artifact weapon? Yeah, okay, all right. I just kind of assumed. I thought so, but yeah, that's okay.
The reason I say that
No, it's not.
Look at it.
It's not.
Arcane Mage.
Yeah, but it looks better, and then the farming to get it is completely different, and then you don't have to sit there and freaking farm whatever the hell it was to, like, artifact power. Ugh, AP. Ugh. My theory was for them to start WoW 2 and actually just, like, destroy Azeroth, because it was actually supposed to be, like, corrupted already from the Void Gods, was to actually just toss all of your artifact weapons into the Well of Eternity and then just blow up the planet. And then anyone that survived, if they could, like, fall onto another planet that ended up being a world soul or something else and start the story, that it would have been a cool start to WoW 2. I hated artifact weapons. It's different. There's farming, but it's different.
Get blown through time to an alternate dimension where the humans invaded Draenor instead of the other way around.
Ugh.
Warcraft 2, let's go.
that is because there are a lot of quest items that you need to assemble
That's
the relic
stupid. I
weapon
don't
for
want that.
Shadowbringers that require a giant group of people all working together.
Oh, wow.
Right now, everyone is doing that. It's like the thing that everybody in game is doing. And after Endwalker comes out, people are not going to be doing it as much at all.
shit,
And it may
okay.
become more difficult to find groups for some of the raids that you need to get these items. It might be more difficult to get enough people into the Bajan Southern Front or Zadnor for all the...
So can I ask like a dumb question? How long would it take if I got, like, let's say you get to max level, how long does it take to get best in slot gear? Like, I mean, like, the best gear in the game. How long does it take to, like, you can go into the best raid, the hardest raid? Like 6 weeks? A month? That's fine. That's totally fine. Okay, because, yeah, it's locked to weeklies. Oh, okay, all right, it's 6 weeks. That's not that bad.
engagements, all the skirmishes that require so many people working together to get these relic weapon quest items. So yeah, it might end up being a situation sort of like how Eureka is now, where yes, there are certainly some people who still do Eureka to get items for the Stormblood relic, but it is nothing near what it was like in Stormblood, and it's definitely much harder now
So it's like raid
than
tiers.
it was in Stormblood.
Yeah.
So I fear the same
like
thing
doing
may
the old
happen
deer.
for the Shadowbringers
At the end
relic.
of BFA.
That situation may be somewhat
Makes
helped
sense.
by the addition of data center visit coming, where people from different data centers can all come together and all work on the relic weapon together. That might, allow you to connect with more people wanting to do that.
Are data servers, data center servers? Or like, is it like a battle group or a server? It's like a battle group. Okay, all right, yeah.
Content that is no longer...
I like that he actually sounds interested in. Okay, so what is it? Okay, yeah.
Right, because the technical aspect of it, I'm sure he's still...
Right, and it actually, like, people are like, oh yeah, it's the server, and it's like, no, it's not the server, it's the actual area that the server is based out of. And I just wonder too, like, what he'll think if he actually does play about, like, the ping. Well, he's in Texas,
So it might not be
so it wouldn't
terrible.
be as bad as like it was when I was in New York. That was bad. So I wonder what he'll think of it. That, and it's kind of funny hearing so much about like Eureka. Like, yeah, there are groups that go in, and hopefully Data Center does help getting groups for Eureka and Bosgen, that those things don't become like unimportant, I guess. I know there are a lot of Discords that are put together for certain things like this, like, Ether hunts, or I believe they actually have a Discord for like just Bosja and Eureka and things like that. And they have a community Discord like the Balance and stuff, but it would be nice if it was more taken care of in-game and on the map. And I'm actually surprised that Data Center Visit is going to be pre 6.0. That's really cool. I think people were saying it was going to be 5.58, which is really neat. And I don't know if they've actually talked about what the restrictions will be. So like Zepla right now is assuming that it'll, all of the data center stuff will help for getting groups for Bosja because you're not just for your data center going in and hoping enough people want to do it. So I wonder if they have the restrictions. If anybody, again, if you've been watching this far and you know what the restrictions are, feel free to post them in a comment because I'm actually curious because I haven't looked it up.
Can you go through Eureka like unsynced stuff, or is it?
It's a completely different map that you.
Oh, so you have to farm no matter what.
Right.
Longer as popular as it was, but it's definitely something to keep in mind. Like, I think that I would not want to wait till after Endwalker to get my Shadowbringer's relic weapon. Now, why would you want the Shadowbringer's relic weapon? It pretty much is just for glamour. I mean, after Shadowbringers, it is not going to be relevant anymore.
So it's just like the artifact weapons.
Really nice. And
that's cool.
I mean, now's the time it's going to be the easiest, I think, to
I
get.
don't want that.
And that's not even mentioning all.
I got my bird weapon! Oh, it looks like a hurdy-gurdy. It's so cool. That's actually really cool. And I actually ended up getting further with my Dragoon weapon than the Bard weapon because I thought that the second step of the Bard weapon looked bad and the second step of the Dragoon weapon looked good. But then I was on the third step and that's when the Bard weapon started looking better. And I was like, damn it! I've been farming the whole time for the wrong dang thing.
All of the unlocks that you will need to do after you complete the story. You will need to definitely do all of the Return to Iblis raids from Storm.
Red chocobos. That's all I'm saying. Okay, bye.
Blood, so that you can actually start on your relic weapon journey for Shadowbringers. You will need to unlock all the dungeons for all of your roulettes, all the normal raids, and all of their associated stories from every expansion. Like, you've got a lot of unlocking to do.
God damn.
And you don't want to feel rushed going through all that.
Holy shit.
And I can tell you that there is a huge wave of new players right now coming to the game. Like, I mean, I run the Discord server and YouTube and everything. Like, I have access to all these analytics, and rest assured.
I actually mentioned this in the last video, and I'd used the term mass exodus, and someone got so mad and was like, do you know what WoW's pop is? And I was like, no, but here's an article saying how obviously there are some accounts that you can't count, and there are ones that are that are tough to count, and then there are the trials and everything. So it's do you count those? But 14 is actually really close and or more. It's on IGN and a bunch of other stuff. And this guy was so mad. He's like, no, it's not. If you think it is, you're dumb. And I'm like, okay.
That we are experiencing a massive tsunami of new players coming to the game. And so because of that, it's an excellent.
I wonder why. Yeah, I fucking wonder why. Honestly, it's probably there's a lot of people I think that want to play WoW, but there's just nothing to fucking do in the game. And so now they're playing this instead. That's the way it feels like to me. Is it that, WoW refugees? Because they're like, well, fuck, there's nothing in WoW.
So is this going to happen every single expansion for World of Warcraft? Because this is actually why I started playing 14 a couple of years ago. Because BFA was in a lull, and then I wasn't having any fun, and so I picked up 14, and it was the closest thing to WoW that I could think of that would be a fun MMO. The closest combat-wise. I know it's not the same, but it was the closest in a lot of respects.
It uses a lot of the same system.
Yeah. Which is also why I'm not sure if Asmon's actually going to play it, because now that 9.1 is announced, and everybody has their KEKWs in chat right now, but it's finally announced and it's coming out within the next couple of weeks, so it's
how many times can I do the daily quest that has me on a fucking umbrella and I have to hit the red balls? How many red balls do I want to hit? That's too many balls.
Time to jump in because you are not going to be hurting for people queuing for low-level content.
Yeah, that's
dungeons and all that kind of stuff that you will need to do as you're moving through the story. Keep in mind also that the story that has been going on since 1.0, the Hydaelyn Zodiark story arc, will be coming to its conclusion with the 6.0 patch. And from 6.1 and onward, it will be a whole new story arc that's going to last us for years and years to come. So this is an incredible time to not only catch up on all the stories.
Wait, so it's not ending?
I thought it was ending.
Endwalker. Endwalker. End of Final Fantasy. Wait, what? What?
Yeah, it has end in the title. That means the game is done.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be done.
This is ridiculous. That's not what I signed up for. I can't buy the game now.
story that's going to lead
a
up
Death
to
Star.
this like epic big finale in 6.0,
What
but
the
you'll
fuck?
also get to be there for the very beginning of the new story arc that will lead us onward for many
Why
years.
the fuck would you, like, if I saw that shit happening, I would go into a bomb shelter, man. Like, why the fuck do they not have bomb shelters? They're just standing outside like it's not even gonna happen. There's giant fucking meteorites coming in there. There's like an extinction event gonna happen. They're like, ooh, you know? It was sudden. Oh, so it came out of nowhere. All right, yeah, maybe that's true.
To come. A big reason why you might want to, have your character fully ready, fully prepared when Endwalker comes is because it will allow you to be a part of that fresh expansion hype. That is really
That's
fun.
what it's
really
about.
a magical time in our community because we don't have a PTR, we don't have the public test realm or the beta testing where everybody knows what's going to be in the new expansion. No one knows what's going to be in the expansion. No one knows what's going to be in the story. And so because of that, we all get to experience it together, and it is something really, really special. And it's
So do they have fucking like data mining or some shit, dude? Like, because I'm wondering about that. Like, the people, so they don't have any, so like it comes out and like nobody knows what's gonna happen. It's all in house. That's crazy.
It's kind of funny. Like, even with Guild Wars 2 for End of Dragons, it's not necessarily like data mining. It's just people saying, oh my gosh, there's a leak. And then ANET/NCSoft is just kind of like, no, that's not what's going to happen. But it could be. But for 14, there are like really small things of data mining that people try to do. Like, people had surmised that it was going to be Nidhogg Thornton for Ultimate. But other than that, like, nobody knew a lot. And that is kind of neat. But at the same time, data mining is kind of fun.
Right?
It's fun hearing about like leaks and stuff, but I do understand what this is. And actually, again, another question for comments is, do you guys like the idea of having it not be spoilery, that realistically you're not supposed to have YouTube content, or they request to at least wait a week when the actual expansion story comes out before you post it on YouTube, things like that? What do you guys consider, the time when things aren't spoilers anymore? Is it just forever spoilery if you talk about, Shadowbringers or Endwalker currently, especially with a lot of new players coming into the game? And what do you think is the correct amount of time where it's not spoilery anymore for content on YouTube? When do you not have to have a spoiler tag? And the same thing for Twitch streams. I think that's a valid, because a lot of people might think differently, but especially for Final Fantasy XIV, and with it being so story and driven, and with all of the devs even making it so that no one knows anything, especially with data mining, like, I'm actually curious to know what people think.
Right. See, like, I don't know why. I wish WoW did that, because it actually feels like I've seen like clips of some of like the fucking cinematics and shit from 9.1, and it's like, I don't want to see that. Like, I want it to just like I want just to be like, the day that the expansion comes out is the day that everybody sees the game for the first time. I would rather have the game be bugged out and dysfunctional a little bit, and be able to have everybody.
It's bugged out and dysfunctional even with the PTR.
Right.
Even with alpha, even with beta, even with the PTR, it is bugged out as shit.
If they could get it to release,
especially
everyone sees it
Shadowlands
for the first time, and then they have a day one patch that fixes a bunch of stuff, people would be happy with that.
That would be different.
But the thing is, because they do the PTR and they still can't fix things, people are getting really, really annoyed.
Yeah.
Everybody experience it for the first time together, rather than this data mining, like, oh, okay, well, I've done the leveling route 18 times on the beta, and so we have to collect these carrots and then turn these carrots into the magic rabbit who's going to give us the coin that we give to the leprechaun that we then have to follow over the magic rainbow, and then we get his pot of gold and we level to 65. You know what I mean? Like, you just know everything. I just think it's boring, man. I think it's fucking
Asmongold for DM.
Yeah. Can he host a game? That would be great.
I think OTK was talking about doing
Tabletop?
Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
I don't know if they actually put it in motion.
boring.
That, I mean, Obviously, you'll still be a part of it if you're not at max level at the time that Endwalker comes out, but you will not have to worry about getting spoiled if you're able to go through the story at the same time as everyone. Oh, and if you're thinking about playing the new job Reaper or the new job Sage, both those new jobs coming in Endwalker, then you might want to, for Sage, I don't know, try out Scholar, see what a shield healer is like, because we know Sage will be a shield healer. For Reaper, you might want to play Dragoon a bit, because we know it will be a maiming job at the very least. You'll be able to collect some maiming glamour, some maiming gear.
I like the sound of that.
A Reaper could use. This game also has a lot of seasonal events upcoming soon, like the Moonfire Fair, it's happening in August, the Make It Rain event happening in July, and those are recurring events that happen at the same time every year.
That's cute.
And
one of the things, too, that I always really liked about that, or that I thought was even better than WoW, is it's like, yeah, in WoW, you have the same events that occur every year. It's the same time on the calendar. And because it's all old stuff, right? It's all old quests, old achievements. You can get the titles, which is cool to farm, right? So you get, like the Hallowed and, Jolly or whatever the heck it is. And that's really cool. But for 14, it's different every event, or at least for the most part. So, they might have the Moonfire Fair every year. They have like the summer event every year where you do a jump puzzle. It's a different jump puzzle pretty much every year. And they do, I forget what the Christmas one is called, but they do one that's kind of like for Christmas, New Year's, and there's different quests, a different storyline, because they're so focused on that every year. There's different mounts that you get in game that you don't have to purchase outside. I mean, you can purchase stuff, especially from previous events and things like that, but most of it is, or a lot of it is in game, and it changes every year. The Halloween one was really cool because I got a Halloween Araman the first time that I tried. So it was like the big eye dude, but it looked more like a pumpkin, and it had a hat, and then it had an ability that you could use, like while you were flying, which was really cool. So I just think it's neat that it's different. Like, I like the idea of, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. And again, if you're farming those titles for WoW, it's cool. The Headless Horseman dungeon is always cool. The stuff for like the Wolpertinger and everything is really cool.
Wolpertinger?
But it is neat that the devs put that much into these events where they're different every year. So you can expect them, unless they have to cancel them due to COVID, which is what happened this past year. But it's because they're always different.
Usually we'll give
we have those.
I know you're going to say
real quick. And I know people are going to make fun of me, but that entire time I was trying to focus when she was talking about Final Fantasy XIV events, holidays. The only thing going through my head was dun da 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 da.
Oh, for
dun da 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 da
Easter.
Da over and over. I'm done.
New emotes that you can get for free while the event is going on, but once the event
this is what I was saying though, is like people compare this to like Vulpera or whatever. Bro, this is a huge, like, I know people get mad about if I ever criticize this game, but bro, this is a human female with bunny ears on, bro. Like, this is not some new, this is a human female with bunny ears. Like, this is straight outside the Playboy Mansion. What the fuck is this supposed to be? Like, I know that obviously they have like their own cool races, but this is not one of them, bro. Like, this is literally a human with bunny ears on and maybe a tail. She's got normal hands, normal feet, normal titties, bigger than average, which is good, but it's got a normal face. Everything else is fucking normal, except that she got the ears. That's it. Everything else is the same.
It's over. You cannot get them.
What I think is funny is one of the reasons that he originally said he didn't want to stream or play, rather, Final Fantasy XIV is because of the furries. But like, if this is what you're saying now, with like them being really close to just like a Playboy bunny, and that they're different from the things in WoW, like the Vulpera, that makes it worse. That makes WoW seem more furry-oriented than Final Fantasy. I'm sorry, but it does.
And he already makes fun
because
of Vulpera.
the Vulpera are little foxes. Oh, I know. But it's like, it's different from Guild Wars 2 where you have the char. Like, that's not a furry thing. That's like...
That's a straight up
if you were worried about it, yeah. Which is funny, because that's why I wasn't sure about the char to begin with, because all I'd experienced were, like, the Vulpera.
They got horns, 4 ears, claws. They run on all 4s.
at all until next year when they put old.
That's straight up out of an OnlyFans shoot. Like there's probably like 10 girls in like the just chatting section or whatever, right, on Twitch that have done that exact thing. Like this is not a new race. These are human females. These are human fucking females, man. And yeah, is there an ass slider in the game too? No.
No, not yet.
Soon.
No, they're not ever implemented.
What?
They're not going to.
Oh.
They had like the 2B leggings that were supposed to make it, which was funny too because it made it like super big, and then they made it a little bit smaller, and then like Yoshi P actually apologized because something that they did in game made it smaller, and then they had to fix it to make it so that the butt looked better. But that was literally like their butt slider was the 2P or 2B leggings.
That's impressive. Wasn't there the thing when like Nier came out that like the polygons on 2B's butt, the data that it took was more than like every single Super Nintendo game combined? Like just a data set.
Was it? Where did you read that? Where's your source? Well, then it's not
IGN
valid.
or something.
It's not valid then.
Event rewards on the Mog Station that you can buy for real money. So if you didn't get this outfit from Moonfire Fair 2020, it is too late to get it for free. We are also expecting the much anticipated return of the FF15 crossover event, which will let you get a 4-seater car. Brand new car. The last time we saw this event was 2 or 3 years ago, and who knows if it will come back. I mean, you probably want to get it while you can in September because there's not a guarantee.
Yes, Asmon, there's cool shit that you can get in game for free, and they bring the events back. And then if you miss it and you didn't get it for free, a lot of times, except for the car, you can buy it online. He's confused about this because this doesn't happen in World of Warcraft anymore.
Also, it's
so he's just confused. Yeah, but a lot of it is steampunk and Magitech, so it's not weird for it to be a car because it's not like full high fantasy.
Right.
Guarantee that it will return. Probably around September 2, they will show
us
the Job Actions trailer for Endwalker where
holy, this is like a fucking, this is some Batman shit. Oh my god, there's literal flying cars. 4-seater as well. Can you kick somebody out of the car while you're in the air? Yes. If you do that, do they fall down and die? You can strand them in places? Okay, alright, that's cool. That's cool. That's good.
No fall damage, Asmon. You can't die.
Fall damage, no fall death.
Whatever.
You don't die from fall damage out of combat. Oh shit.
Get it while you can in September because there's not a guarantee that it will return. Probably around September.
But what if you drop them on top of like a bird that they would get in combat with in the process of dropping? And
that would work.
He's already thinking about it. He's already got it down.
Then they'd be in combat with the bird, and then they hit the ground and die. Would that work? That works. Okay, all right, cool. That's good.
It will show us the Job Actions trailer for Endwalker, where we will get a sneak peek at all the different new abilities, the different jobs they're going to get. We might get some information about how different jobs will work from a gameplay perspective, and that might help you decide what job you want to main. If you just feel like waiting it out a little longer, that's
the effects are really flashy.
So are you a new player? Are you still in the free trial? Or
you can turn them down. I know that he likes to meme, and he's probably being silly, but if anyone is coming over here and is just like an Asmon, you just watch Asmon stuff, and not necessarily 14. Actually, when I would do Savage content, which is the higher tier in the game, unless you do Ultimate, which is usually the top 1%, and they actually canceled the last Ultimate raid, and you don't actually get like legit gear from that. You get a title, and you get weapon glamour, but I usually have them all off or just my own and barely there. So you can have like a base, all or none, and you can do that for like the NPCs, your group, and yourself. So there's 3 different ones that you can have on full, medium, or like none. And I would never have anything on except the healers as a base, so I could see like bubbles and shields, and things that I would need to stand in. and then none for everything else, unless the boss did something that wasn't telegraphed that I had to watch, like in Savage, and then I would have that on medium as well. But I never had mine or anyone's on high for Savage content, at least. Out in the world, it's different.
If you could leave your own, the healers, and the bosses, and
well, if you put it on mid, mainly the only thing that you really see is healer bubbles and things like that, and then telegraphed.
But it controls everything, not individual.
It controls everything.
Okay.
Are you considering whether or not to buy Endwalker now or buy Shadowbringers right now? Or are you a max level player and you're already good to go? You're all ready for Endwalker. You have your main job chosen, and at max level, you are like fully decked out with gear. You got your relic, and all you're doing is just waiting and chilling till Endwalker comes out. Let me know in the comment section and down below. And if you like this video, please consider supporting the channel on Patreon or on Twitch. You can also support the channel for free by clicking the subscribe button or by sharing this video with your fellow Warriors of Light. Thank you so much for watching.
I don't know if we're Warriors of Light, guys. I'm sorry to say. But, you know, we're doing what we need to, all right? So it's a nice video. She's a nice girl. Like, I think this is a good video. Listen, if you could get a car, man, can you... All right, so
I think we're gonna call it there. We know it's a nice video. She's a nice girl. We like Asmongold quite a bit as well, so this is why it was so exciting for us to do. And I really wasn't expecting the amount of people that wanted me to keep reacting to some of this stuff. So I will pick and choose, and you might see more of these down the road. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, it was fun. Positive but fun, and we got some extra information, and we were able to give some extra information that maybe like people didn't have previously. So if you like our content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. I don't care if they're Warriors of Light or not. But yeah, we have Patreon as well. Check the links down below, and I think that's it. Did you have anything else to say?
No, I think you covered just about everything.
T-Bird country.
T-Bird country.
Goodbye.